everybody, I'm Tim Ward and welcome back to Garden Sense. Well, folks, I want to apologize again for not having a video last week. As I told you guys in the email, we were without power from Friday through Tuesday morning, and it really backed up a lot of work that needs to get done in terms of producing the video, but also just getting back to you and replying to the dozens and dozens of emails that were sent in during that time span. So I do appreciate the patience, but we are back. Power is restored, and obviously today we've got our video rolling. So folks, we've got a lot going on, some stuff towards the end of the podcast that I want to talk to you about regarding triple play and gallery, but you are here because you have some questions and we have some answers. So buckle up, everybody. Let's jump right in. Question number one is from Clara. Tim, I have 3 holly bushes all next to each other. As soon as the weather gets warmer, they become infested with whiteflies. What can I do to prevent this? So when it comes to whiteflies, there's a couple of things you can try. First, I would actually recommend that you try and prevent them in the first place. And the best product that we have for that would actually be neem oil. You can head over to rosensonline.com, pick up some neem oil, and I would saturate all 3 of those trees. Now, I would also make sure that you do your best to get underneath and not just worry about the top of the foliage, but actually underneath the leaves as well. That should help prevent any infestations. However, in case the infestations just are going to occur and the neem oil is not effective in this case, I would actually pick up some Monterey mite and insect control. This will actually help drive them away and actually kill a lot of them as well. It's a very effective product, and obviously it's going to list whiteflies on the label so you know that it's going to work. So head over to rosensonline.com. Pick up some Monterey mite and insect control if that infestation gets too much for you to handle, and that should really clear things up. The next question is from Paul. Tim, is it too late to put down crabgrass control? I used it last year in February and we had lots of crabgrass come in later. Hi, Paul. So I'll be really frank with you. I actually believe that you put it down too early, and that's why you had problems later in the season. The best time to put down dimension to prevent crabgrass is going to be like very early April to mid to even late April, depending on where you live. Now, you didn't tell me exactly where you were writing from, but again, putting it down in early February is going to do virtually nothing in terms of preventing crabgrass. So put it down in that April time frame, and then again, you can put it down in that late summer, very early fall, again, to put down 2 applications, and that's really going to help you get ahead of the crabgrass. So you definitely have time to put it down. Head over to rosensonline.com. Pick up some dimension and get it down in that early to mid-February time frame, and you should see a pretty good reduction in terms of the new crabgrass that's going to pop up. The final question is from Lauren. Hi, Tim. I have a holly tree on the northwest side of my house that has turned brown. This tree is around 15 years old, and I've never seen it do this before. Is there anything I can do to revive it? I can't tell if the tree is dying or okay. Okay, so based on the picture, I'm going to say that this is probably winter burn, which is actually good news for the long-term health of the tree. So what happens is, if you get some unusually cold weather, some freeze cycles that last a little bit longer than you would typically experience in your area, it can actually cause that. Because in addition to just the really cold temps, there's going to be obviously a lack of water as well. And so this is what causes the leaves to brown. Now, the good news is that your holly tree is actually going to shed these leaves naturally. The bad news is that the tree could look a little bit worse before it starts to get better, but I actually do not think this is going to be a long-term problem. So here's what I do. First, I would make sure that it's getting plenty of water. Then I would go ahead and give it Plant Trust. Now, sometimes we recommend people, especially if they want the berries on their holly trees, holly bushes, that they use Garden Trust. But in this case, we're really worried about, getting that foliage to come back, and I'm less worried about the berry production. So I would go ahead and put down Plant Trust as soon as you can, frankly. So head over to rosensonline.com, pick up a couple of bags of Plant Trust, and go ahead and get that down. Make sure that you're watering it. And I would also recommend that you actually give it some kickstart. Putting down some kickstart is actually going to help the root system of that tree. It's going to be able to take in more nutrition, help it to take in more water, and that should really kind of speed up the process of shedding those leaves and having that new growth come in. So again, as soon as you can put some of this stuff down and start watering it, I think overall the better that tree is going to look. All right, everybody, just a couple final thoughts before we wrap up this week's video podcast. Folks, I've got some bad news. Talked with ProTrust earlier today, and unfortunately, it looks like we are not going to have Gallery back in stock for several months. There's been an issue with the production of it, and unfortunately, that means that the Turf Trust Triple Play that we have going on right now is no longer. So I'm sad to bring this news to you because I know how much you guys have been emailing me wondering when it was going to come back in stock, and I actually thought that it was going to be back in stock in a couple of days, but it actually looks like that is not the case. So I apologize for giving all of you bad information in all the emails that I responded to. So unfortunately, again, no Gallery. We're going to look to have it back obviously in time for the fall, because sadly that window of putting down Gallery, we've only got about a month to go of when that's really going to be effective to put down, and we're just not going to have the product in stock. So Gallery's out. That means the Turf Trust Triple Play is also gone. Now I know what's going to happen next is you guys are going to have to come back to me and say, hey, if we can't put down Gallery, what else can we put down? Well, I'll be honest with you. Dimension is a good product to put down in terms of some of the broadleaf weeds. So if you have if you have Dimension, you can go ahead and put that down to actually help prevent broadleaf weeds. Now, it is designed for crabgrass. It's more for those grassy weeds. But if you look at the labels of both of the products, there's probably about a 75 to 80% carryover between the broadleaf weeds that Gallery prevents and that Dimension also prevents. So you can use Dimension as a broadleaf weed deterrent. It's not quite as effective as Gallery in that regard, but trust me, it is better than nothing. Folks, I also want to remind you that with the temperatures starting to warm up, you're going to want to go ahead and get down kickstart on your lawn, on your plants, things like that. If you are starting to think about planting a garden in the next month or so, it's also a great time to put down kickstart as soon as those plants go in, so that way you can strengthen the root systems and really help those new plants get established. Folks, I really want to thank you for the time that you've spent with us today. And again, I want to apologize just with all the issues that we had last week and not being able to produce a video. But keep the emails coming. If you guys are interested in getting your question on the air here, or if you would just need some help and would really like some advice, please send an email directly to me, tim@rosensonline.com. We'll do everything we can to get back to you within a couple of days. I am almost caught up in terms of all of the emails that I had been backlogged in since that power outage. I'm not quite there yet, but I'm really, really close. So hopefully by the end of this week, we're going to be all caught up. So again, send an email directly to me, tim@rosensonline.com. Give me a couple of days as I try to get a handle on all the emails that are coming in. And I have no doubt that with the Gallery not being back in stock and the Turf Trust Triple Play going away, my inbox is going to be flooded this coming week. Folks, as I just said, we really appreciate all the time that you spent with us today, and it means a lot to us when you send in the questions and help us to produce this video each and every week. Folks, I hope you have an amazing rest of the week. God bless.